многое чего хочется.
I would like many things, very many things. First of all, I want peace for my children. I want peace and harmony. I had to live through it. I have to live through it all. Once we found ourselves under intensive fire. In 1999 we lived in the town, and when we were going back home we came under intensive fire. We came through by a miracle. We escaped with our lives by a miracle. The only thing I want now is no war, no disputes among people. There were times I was working at that time when a head of administration could say, "What's the use in these schools? We don't need them. A lesson in physical training at school is enough. We don't need anything else. Our boys at 13, 14 are able to shoot down a plane." But that person didn't belong to the district or to the area. There were times when there were a lot of arms. We didn't get salaries, but we stuck with it. The airport was opened in our area. We all waited for the first plane. We had such a feeling, you know, we were scared when this plane went up. Through it was a passenger plane. Such things happen sometimes. It is not easy to plan change in such a situation when people in a shattered town need psychological aid and support of people who can help at least with a word. This is even more important for the new century Chechnya. At this time, in the first place, even grown-ups go to see a teacher, a school teacher, but they are sometimes confused as much. Compared to the period of 10 years of instability, this period of peace is too short, and people do not believe that all this is over and will never happen again. They are left with a feeling that they are not included. People only just are beginning to become accustomed to peace, to the idea that they must build, not destroy. And I like it that my town is getting better, because I live here and I love my town. Even if it doesn't look as it used to, it is blooming. Teachers were ones of the first to release that, therefore it was on rehabilitation and training of teachers that the union Women of the Don region focused its attention. The events were targeted both at Chechen and Rostov region teachers. As the union's research showed, Rostov region teachers had as many problems as their Chechen peers did. It is harder for a village teacher, definitely harder. There are clever enough people who are well informed of both political and social events that are happening in the society. Very often teachers are turned to for the explanation of the national project, though this information can be obtained elsewhere. But people trust teachers, and they come to them from force of habit, as they did when they were school children. There are still a lot of problems in the North Caucasus. It is one of the most tangled areas in Russia. Being tired of the mess, teachers started rectifying the situations themselves, beginning with one desk or one student. We began it from scratch. First, our key concern was how to get children to the desks, then what to get them to, then how to organize ourselves. But during these years, now the quality of education has been improving. The children getting more interest in school. There are children who perform very well at school, take part in competitions and win. The first difficulties emerged before the seminars began. Teachers are busy people. It is very difficult for many of them to come to the seminar. It was not an easy job to invite, persuade and get them to come. The union specialist had to visit Chechnya twice to meet the teachers themselves and their superiors. Dialogue is most important. Why? Because a dialogue leads to the truth. A dialogue helps to understand if we have taken the right road or what road to choose. I think what you are doing in this republic with our teachers is a groundbreaking job. It is appreciated by the teachers who have visited you, by officials, and it is also highly appreciated by the government and president. We have carried it off. Peacemaking seminars have transformed into refresher courses. When the teachers were planning their visit to Novocherkassk, each of them had their own expectations. For some it was the first trip outside their village or town. Some wanted specific knowledge, others sought association and communication. But they got much more, a different perception of their lives. What I would like to begin with is that first I discovered myself. There I discovered those who were around me, got acquainted with people from another region, Chechnya. This was full of discoveries. I had an absolutely different idea of it. Absolutely. I found a lot to learn from them, in what I would like to be similar to them. I was not easily let go, it's true. First of all, I was afraid, I was nervous. I looked around, all are so clever, so well read. I didn't want to show my weaknesses. But we were welcomed so warmly here. My dear, you're welcome, they said. They taught me to socialize and communicate. I never held myself in esteem. They have taught me to love myself. In fact, I have learned here that I am kind-hearted and happy. I didn't know that before. The method of Don women is first to rehabilitate and then to teach. The teaching being so substantial that teachers can provide psychological support to their colleagues and students, and even relatives. Psychologists Natalia Belikova and Galina Kondrad worked with the participants throughout the project duration. Rehabilitation is an essential element. Experience has shown this to be the right approach. They are teachers. They have not only personal trauma, but they are people who are subject to potential job burnout. That is, this is a professional that consists of a system of bands, which causes additional tension. People have to meet expectations to fit their profession. This situation results in job burnout. That is why rehabilitation process is divided into several levels. First of all, prevention of job burnout. Then, dealing with personal psychological trauma, helping them to process them so that the participants didn't feel a communication gap, including interethnic one. When I came home after the first workshop, I performed all the activities we had at the workshop with all groups of children of various ages at the House of Children's Creative Work. The games gave fantastic immediate results. I didn't adjust or simplify the games, though they were not simple for the children of this age. The result the children showed was even more meaningful than my own at the workshop. When playing, drawing or performing, these people achieve a very important goal. They become closer to each other, get to understand each other's characters, and, most importantly, learn to come to agreement. We see concrete results. At one workshop we met some people, at this workshop we have met some more, but we realize we have common goals. We are on the same way, we have no disputes. Very often conflicts in our life occur because we don't know how to communicate, to say nothing of communication constructively. This inability to come to an agreement may be a cause of conflicts, though most of the participants maintained that they had no difficulties in communication with people of other ethnic affiliation or faith. I think that even if they say somewhere that they have interethnic conflicts, they are not so much interethnic as interpersonal. Somebody says something, and some problems arise. I don't like if when some fan the fires of interethnic issues. The invitation letter said that social workers of our region and the Chechen Republic were invited to take part in the seminar. I got interested at once. That's when I can test my tolerance to another culture, another ethnicity. When we came and got acquainted, we found a common language at once. We become so good friends, so close. You know, we were waiting for this second seminar, this meeting, as if we had known each other all our lives. After rehabilitation, the participants had a course for volunteer psychologists' aides, facilitated by experts of a Rostov retraining institute for educators. Psychological support, assertive behavior and methods of stress relieving are only part of the seminar program. Before this seminar, I often didn't know how to help children if they were feeling resentment or remembering their relatives or father or mother. I didn't know what to do, but now, after the seminar, I feel I can help them at least a bit. I won't have to invite our psychologist to speak to this child. I acquired this skill at the seminar. Project Planning for Change Together is taking effect. Significant psychological shift that occurred within those who returned from the first seminar were evident to their relatives and colleagues. The value of such communication is that it is not just directed to professional activity. Changes within others will occur later, are sure to occur. I have learned to take things in stride. Therefore, I think the relations at home, in the family and at work have improved. The quieter at work, the quieter at home. It turns out that the quietness helps. I have made a few plans for myself. Don't know if I will be able to realize them. New approaches to the work with colleagues, with students. The main thing is the presence of a psychologist. Children may be active, hyperactive. There must be different approaches. I shall see. If I succeed, I'll tell you next time. Next time came almost at the end of the year. Early in November, the project participants met for a big conference for educators. The main objective was to show what they had learned. For many, the project year proved to be the success story. We believe that this is a very good result on the way to the goal of stabilizing the situation in the region, getting the two peoples to counteract negative stereotyping and, in general, developing this form of work as a model of handling crisis situations in the society. At the recent meeting they will talk again, this time not only to help students and those around them, but also to mediate with Noah Zanolli from Switzerland as a moderator.
Not at all.
Usually I talk with participants of how to deal with a conflict at school. I teach them to become mediators in a conflict situation. Communication with such an audience is easy for me. The participants know well each other. They have similar problems. I like to work with representatives of various regions. They can see that we have similar difficulties, similar problems, and we can find the ways of resolving them together. The year of communication and learning is over. The participants have obtained a fresh start in life. Now they will have to apply their skills at home, trying to prove every day that teacher is a generator of new ideas.